Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of Wet n Wild makeup, and I'm also going to be doing some first impressions on that. If you see, the background is way different right now because we're actually at a hotel right now, so I'm trying to get some videos done so y'all can have a lot of content right now. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, as always, I'm going to start off with my eyes. I don't have the eye primer for them, but I'm just going to go ahead and use concealer. You can use concealer as an eye primer also, and this is their Photo Focus Concealer. This is part of their first impressions I'm going to be doing. I have not used this before, but I'm going to go ahead and just use a little bit of it for my primer. We'll see how this does as a primer, but also later on as an actual concealer as well. I'm just going to blend that out. Okay, so I went ahead and put that on my eyes. I did notice that normally I use the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and this did not cover up very much of my veins, so I'm kind of wondering how it's going to act as a concealer, but we'll just have to wait and see. So for my eyes, I'm going to be using the Au Naturel Wet n Wild palette, and this is in the shade Nude Awakening. It's kind of their plummier kind of tone. So I'm going to go in with this shade right here to set down my eyes. I should go ahead and get my hair out of my face real quick. Okay, then I'm going to go in with this kind of taupe shade right here, and I'm going to start building that in my crease. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this, it's kind of a deeper kind of taupe shade. It's a cool tone brown. I'm going to go ahead and build that up some more. Then I'm going to blend that out. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this kind of reddish burgundy shade. I'm going to build this kind of in my outer corner or something. There we go. I'm going to blend that out. Then I'm going to go back in with that first shade that I used to set my lid down, and I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlight. Then for my lid shade, I'm going to go in with this shimmery kind of warm pink shade. I don't know if y'all can see this right now, but this palette is really beautiful. The shimmer shades come off just like a Makeup Geek Fold shadow would, so I definitely recommend picking this palette up if you have not already. This isn't a first impression. I've had this for a while, but it's definitely a great palette. It's only like $5, so definitely check that out. I'm going to go ahead and blend where I got in my crease a little bit. And then that's going to be all right now for my eyes, and we'll come back to the eyes in a little bit when I do my lower lash line and my mascara and stuff like that. Okay, next is going to be foundation. I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This stuff is really good. It's pretty like medium coverage, and what I really like about it is the applicator. It's kind of like a little bit of a paddle, so you can just swipe it on your face. Say with this foundation though, like I'm blending it out right now and I have a few dry patches and it's really clinging to them. So if you have dry skin, definitely moisturize really well. So I don't think I moisturized enough for this foundation. And it's kind of a little bit clinging. It's really good for if you have oily skin, but if you want to pull it off with dry skin, I would definitely like ultra moisturize and maybe use like a moisturizing primer like the Too Faced Hangover Primer or the Smashbox Primerizer. Okay, next let's go ahead and go in with a Photo Focus Concealer. It's matching with the foundation. As I said before, I'm kind of nervous about it because for the primer for my eyes, it did not do very much coverage. So I'm hoping maybe with a little bit more, it'll cover like some of my under eye circles and stuff like that. We'll see. Fingers crossed. And I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge as well. So first impressions, I'm not a huge fan of this concealer. It is kind of like I said, it didn't cover a lot, but if it's like every day and you're not really worried about a lot of coverage or you don't have dark under eyes, then it might not be an issue for you. I did feel like it's a little thick, especially considering it's not full coverage, which is odd. So it's taking a little bit to blend out. So overall, right now, I'm probably going to say I don't recommend this, but I still recommend the foundation. It's still like a really good coverage and a good match. They have a lot of different shades for your skin tone, so I would check out the foundation, but maybe not the concealer. I would definitely, my tried and true is the Maybelline concealer, the dark eraser, so I would go with that. I'm going to go ahead and set down my face. I'm going to be using the Reserve Your Cabana powder. This is actually a bronzer. I don't know in what world that's a bronzer though. That is like super pale. Okay, now that I went ahead and set my face down, I'm going to go back to the eyes. Let's go ahead and do some mascara first. I'm going to be going in with the Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Volume. It's the one in the yellow tube. They have a couple that say Mega Volume, but this one is, I'm not really sure the difference in this and some of the other ones, but this one was on the package, the one that said Natural Enhancing Volume Building, so that really interests me for every day. And so let's go ahead and give this a try. It's got kind of like a spiral kind of wand. It looks like it's plastic. So let's go ahead and give this a try and see. I'm not going to curl my lashes because I want to see what it does without curling them. Okay, so that's what that looks like. I wouldn't say this is my least favorite mascara. It's actually really good and it's really affordable. I think it was only like $2 or $3. It doesn't really build a lot of volume, but I will say it's natural looking and it's really good like if you wear makeup every day or for work or something like that and you just want something to pop on to give you a little something to lift your lashes. I feel like it separates them actually pretty well. So I would say good on that, but it's not my favorite. If you're looking for like a somewhat affordable mascara and you're wanting like a lot of volume, I would go with the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. But this is still a good alternative just for a natural, really affordable mascara. So I would say that's my opinion on that. Okay, next for bronzer, I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This is actually a contour shade, but for me this is a little bit warm. I like a little bit cooler contour, so I'm going to use this as my bronzer. And this one is in the shade Dulce de Leche. So I'm just going to use this and bronze my face. Okay, so this is a really great one. This one isn't really a first impression. I've had this for a while, but I will say like if this is your first time using it, it's a really great one. And I didn't use this, but you can use this as like a banana kind of under eye setting powder to kind of brighten up. But it's very powdery, so definitely kick it off a little bit before you go in because it's a lot of product. Just like their blushes are very pigmented, you have to tap them off. I would do the same thing with this. Okay, next for blush, I'm going in with their Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes, which are really amazing. And this one is in the shade Mellow Wine. These are very pigmented, so as I said before on the other one, you have to tap off a little bit, but they're really beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with highlighter. This one is like a tried and true. This is the Wet n Wild. It's in Boozy Brunch. I believe this is like the original Hollywood Boulevard. I think it was by the Fergie line. I think this is the same thing. It looks the exact same to me. And if you swatch it and put it on the back of your hand, it's very similar to Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill and Becca. So it's got that kind of peachy undertone that's really beautiful. And so I just really love this highlighter. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the brow pencil. This one is their Color Icon pencil and it's called Brunettes Do It Better. It's their like brown brunette shade. It's a little different that I'm used to, like the NYX Micro Brow and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, or kind of have like a mechanical pencil kind of. This one looks like an eyeliner, like the original OG like sharpening kind. So I've never tried one like that, but it's really affordable. It's only like $2, so we'll see how it turns out. I'm going to take this spoolie side. It does come with a spoolie, so that's nice considering it's so affordable. It's definitely not the best spoolie though, I will say. But I'm going to spoolie my brows up. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with a pencil and we'll see. I'm going to use a light hand because normally products like this, well, let's actually see. Yeah, it's really creamy, which means it's going to be really pigmented. So you're going to want to do little strokes instead of pressing down. I'm going to go in with a spoolie. Okay, for the brow pencil, I don't know if I would suggest this. I definitely wouldn't suggest it for beginners because even for me, like I had to be extremely lightly handed because it is so pigmented and it just like, you don't want to look like your eyebrows are drawn on, because that's what I felt like even once I spoolied it out. I still feel like they're a little drawn on for me. But if you're very, very careful and you just do tiny strokes, then maybe it's worth it for the $2, but I would just go for the NYX Micro Brow. We're not doing so great on first impressions, unfortunately. Just trying to keep it honest. Okay, next for the under eyes, I want to do some on my lower lash line, some back in the palette. I'm going to go back in with that taupe shade. I'm going to mix it with that cool brown shade. And I'm just going to put this on my lower lash line. And I'm going to go with that kind of burgundy berry shade right there. I'm going to do that just on the outer fourth. Then I'm going to take a blending brush and just kind of blend that where that met with my top part. For lips, I have 3 different options for y'all, just depending on what kind of look you want to go to. If you want to use it for like work or just running errands or a date night or just whatever you want to do out with the girls, I have 3 different options for you and I did swatches. This first one is kind of like just a really natural pink shade, which is really pretty for like out with the girls or just going out and doing stuff. This middle one, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of a beigey pink. This is really great for work or if you're just running errands or just every day. Like they're both really good for every day. It just depends on what your cup of tea is. And this last one is like a date night or just, you know, if you're going to the club or whatever. It's very bold red and it's beautiful. So there's these 3 shades and I'm going to go ahead and put them on my lips and y'all can see what y'all would like. First, I'm going with that neutral kind of beigey pink shade, kind of a nude shade. And this one is one of their original lipsticks. It's the Wet n Wild and it is in Breeze. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Okay, so as you can tell, this is kind of like Your Lips But Better kind of color. It's got a little bit of sheen to it, like satin kind of, but it's really beautiful. You know, it just, you can still kind of tell there's something there. It just gives a little oomph to your lips, so I really like this shade a lot. Next, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild. It's the Natural Blend. It's called Lip Shimmers. They kind of look like a chapstick, but they're a lot more pigmented than that. And that's this kind of really pretty pink, like girly pink kind of shade. It comes like this, so it looks kind of like a chapstick, but it's very beautiful. that's what that shade looks like. It's really pretty and pink and just really beautiful, but it's still natural and like everyday, so I really love it. Okay, and last but not least is this really beautiful like kind of red berry shade. This one is their Wet n Wild. This one is their Wet n Wild Mega Last lipsticks, and then this one is in Smokin' Hot Pink. This one is really pretty for if you want a bold color, date night, or maybe even for the holidays. It's really pretty. This really is kind of out of my comfort zone, so I'm not really sure how it's going to look on me. I got it for the holidays last year, I think it was, and I never wore it just because reds kind of scare me. But this is really pretty, so I just want to give y'all a chance to see a different color and see what y'all think. This is what this shade looks like. Like I said before, totally outside of my comfort zone, and I feel like I look like a clown. But this is just an idea of what it looks like. It's really pretty, like kind of a pink red shade, but it's really pretty. It's just not, I don't think it looks very good on me, but I hope y'all enjoy all of this. Overall, I would say all the lipsticks I showed you are really great. The bronzer is good. This is a good, even though it's a bronzer, it says, it's really good setting powder. I love their blushes. I love their highlights. I really want to try the Precious Petal highlighter, but I can't find it in any of my drugstores. So the concealer, I would not do. The palette is really great. This is really great. They also have another shade. I can't think of what it is, but it's more like browns. It's kind of like a dupe for the Naked palette. So I would check that out. I don't think I would go with a brow pencil unless you just think you're an expert and can get away with it. Or maybe if you don't have any brow hair, so you need a little bit more pigment. The mascara, it's good considering the price, and it does separate your lashes. And the foundation, it kind of depends on your skin type, but I do think it's a really great foundation. So that's just what I think. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Bye.